Okay, hello. Back. I'm doing a tutorial again. I've been getting a lot of questions on how I get my lines and my pictures really smooth and stuff, and how I don't know, edit. I guess it's changed a lot. I don't really know if I like it, but since some of you do, I'll do a tutorial on how I do it. Pretty much it's pretty similar to how I usually do it with the topaz and the overlay brushes and all that stuff, except now I get a little bit more detail oriented. I fix small things with certain tools, like for instance his neck right here where it kind of like bends outward where it's not really natural looking and stuff, and then I smooth out some certain hard edges with other things and stuff. Let's see. I'm not gonna go too much in detail in this. I mean, it's kind of a pretty simple photo. It doesn't need a lot of fixing. The only thing that really needs to be fixed is his neck and stuff. And I'm not gonna focus on that. I'm probably just gonna crop it out. So let's do the cropping first, and usually just use the rectangular marquee right there. It's this little button right here, and then I just crop it, and then I deselect, and then I do topaz. Now if you don't know what topaz is, it's pretty much just a Photoshop plugin. It's pretty much a filter. What it does is wait for it to load for me to show you. Pretty much what it does, let's see, it kind of smooths things out. See, this is the original. I don't think you can really tell. Uh, that's what it looks like after. This is before, and that's after. It's slightly. I don't overdo it. Just, I mean, everybody's has their own taste, but I mean, I don't like it when it's overdone. I feel like it takes away too much detail because it kind of distorts the image if you go overboard. So that's the original. Unclick it. It's the other one, and you still have certain like pixelations right here that I usually fix. So for now, these are my settings. I have them in an ask in my blog already if you want them. And then you can just save them right here in this button right here. Just save it and then put the name or whatever and stuff. So I'm just gonna press OK now. And see, it doesn't look that different, but I'll get to the important stuff now. So pretty much, I don't know if many of you know this. I use a tablet. It can be done with a mouse. It's just a little harder because you need to have better hand-eye coordination. Well, you still need hand-eye coordination for a tablet, but I mean, for me, it's easier with the tablet. So pretty much what I do, I can do this two ways. I can use the liquify filter and pretty much just zoom in. Use this little cool little tool. If it'll work. Yeah. See, that makes it too thin, so I can't actually do that one. I'm gonna cancel that. But you can fix certain things, like you can make him smile more. See, I'm doing a horrible example. You can make him unhappy. You can make him more angry. You know, you can distort it. I'm exaggerating it here, but I mean, I do use it and stuff. It's useful. But for now, I think I'm gonna use something else. Hold on, I think I have too much crap open. Turn off Google. There we go. Maybe it'll work now. Yeah, I'm gonna use my mouse. Well, usually when I use a mouse, because I can't find my tablet pen or something, I use this tool and it pretty much just selects it for me. Makes it easier to not go over. There we go. And stuff. And then I don't like how this is not really curvy, so I'll just usually I just brush over it, but for some reason, because I'm recording, my tablet's like, yeah, I don't want to work, so I'm just gonna do it this way. And Hobra's trying to talk to me, but she's gonna have to wait because I'm doing tutorial. So let's see. Use the eyedropper tool to make like a smooth transition, and if not, just reduce the hardness settings and like make the opacity really low. And see, it's a little bit more smoother looking. And then you can always use the smudge tool to like smooth it out. It looks a little bit more genuine. And there you go, curve. I don't like how that's kind of not blurry though, so I'm gonna fix that by blurring it out a bit. There you go. And then see how he has like imperfections right here? Just smudge them out and they'll go away. And the bigger you go, Sims never come out perfect for some reason. You just gotta work them out somehow. Damn, I can't do the hair because my tablet doesn't work. Usually do hair when my tablet is faster, but for now, just gonna shit. Okay. If you have a tablet, you know, just draw the hair on and stuff. It's basic photoshopping, whatever, for those who are. It's not basic highlight. It's pretty complicated. I don't know, guys. Let's see. Like an hour left till I have to go to school. Okay. Oops. Not fit. Well, okay, you see how this is right here? Another tool I use is the patch tool. So pretty much what I do is I grab a little spot that doesn't look nice. Move this. There you go, it's gone. Voila. Move it towards something. See? Now it's gone. I don't really care for this part, but I'll fix it. And sometimes it smudges. If you don't care, then it's fine. Like myself. Don't really care at all. No. Alright. And then you just zoom out. It's cool. But it's really good, like, if something is, like, poking out of another thing, like clipping and stuff, you can always use it to hide it and stuff. Alright, let's focus on lighting now. Pretty much lighting can be complicated, but most people who do photo shoots already know where their light is coming from, so you know where the shade's gonna go and stuff. Sometimes I get pretty creative and use the lighting that's not actually taken in the picture and just like flip it altogether, but that requires more practice, I guess. I don't know. Okay, I say a lot because I didn't really write what I was gonna say. I'm just winging it here. Okay, lighting, right. Gotta have your hardness setting as 0, because if you have it at 100, it looks like this. And then if you have it at 0, it looks a little bit more smooth. See? It's easier to control. Then you have the opacity, usually 20 to 25, no more than 30, because then it gets kind of crazy. My flow, I usually like it at 69. Ha ha ha. Not just kidding. It is 69. Usually somewhere in the 60s. And I set the overlay. Usually start with the white. Well, either white or black. Right now, it's. Never mind. I need the brightness and contrast. You usually make it less bright. That way the contrast doesn't look too overdone. Yeah. No, I don't go over 30. Just somewhere around there. Yeah. Okay. Kind of gives it a nice realistic contrast, I guess. And then I start shading. I want the light part to be here, and this is dark because the light isn't really touching it and stuff. And then there you go. Kind of. I do overlay because overlay makes the color darker in its kind of value, I guess. It doesn't make it black, it just helps it make it darker. But it only works on colors that are similar to the brush one. So it's like, see right here, it's harder to make it darker, where it's darker, it's easier to make it darker. And then you do some defining on the face, usually the eyes. If you really want to be like more in detail of how I edit, sometimes I do private if I know you well enough, like Sophia and Little Puppets. I taught them before, and then they just went on their own editing styles, I guess, and they've gotten really good. So, let's see. And yeah, that kind of just gives it the whole almost semi-realistic. I say semi because he still kind of looks cartoony, but and the lighting still kind of looks a little bit cartoony because it's not as gradual as it should be. Oops, that always happens. And yeah. I don't get super complicated with it. I just do some things with it. Sometimes I go overboard, sometimes I don't. And then if I want to, I just go to multiply. Just to make it darker than overlay is allowed to do it. And sometimes if I don't like how dark they are, yeah, there we go. If its head is too light, I'll like fix it by just slightly brushing over it. And then give it a little bit more contrast. Because I like contrast for some reason. There you go, lighting's all nice. Now if you want to add colored lighting, pretty much just pick a color you want, set the opacity a little bit lower, and then just set it to overlay. You can also set it to color and hue. Color is a little bit harder to control though because it turns everything into that color. See? Now it's all nice and ooh, so moody because it's blue. Or you can do it all fiery red. Like, oh, it's dangerous. Look at it, it's red. It's tough. But I'm probably going to do yellow. and overlay though, because I kind of like to play with too. I do more than one color, just to make it colorful. I like colors, all the colors of the rainbow. I don't know, I'm being weird. Don't mind me. I don't go overboard with it because I do saturate it a bit now. It's like my favorite thing to do. I like colorful things. Don't judge me. I already have a preset. They change often though. See that, and just that, 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 that. I have so many presets. Some of them are not even for Sims photos. They're for like other things because I like to play with texture packs on Minecraft. So like edit the colors and stuff. Sometimes I just mess with the presets that are already in Photoshop. So let's see, let's do 20 and then plus 1. There you go. That's done. And then blurring. You can blur before you resize it, or you can blur after you resize it. I'm gonna do it before, because sometimes it's easier. But sometimes my game will be running and it'll be too slow to do the blurring before, so I'll do it after. But either way, it doesn't really make a difference. The only difference is it makes is if you sharpen before or after, and the effects are a little bit more different if you do it that way. But let's see. I'm just blurring. This is an old picture, by the way. I think I've edited it like three times already. Oh well, Isam is a babe, so it's okay. I haven't played my game in a while either. Oh no, not feeling it, guys. Not feeling it. Somebody bring me back to simpler life. Okay, so nowadays I usually just set it at 500 because then it kind of just fixes it on its own. And then it's the width of a Tumblr post. I don't really care about the length, and I don't always like splitting images. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just don't care because the HQ is gonna stay whether or not you click on it or not. So, or if it does or doesn't, I really don't notice. So, yeah. So change it to 500 with the lighting's already done. Sometimes I go over it again, click on it, and then do it again. Actually, I may change the contrast again. I really just play with it until I like what it looks like. That's pretty much what I do. Sorry. I have no manners. And then that's pretty much what I do. And then I like to do this now. It's pretty much, I don't know if it's a signature thing or not, but I don't know, I don't care. What I do is I just right click, press stroke. You can always make a new layer too, like if you don't think you're finished editing it. That's what I did with this, the other one. See, and then I did the white background, sweet. And then sometimes you put a little bit of text. Let me see. I like really cool, I have a lot of fonts. I always go hunting for fonts. There's a lot of cool free ones you could get. Sometimes I get a little shady and get some that are actually super expensive, probably like $100 a pop. So, let's see. My favorite has to be, I think it's called Futura. So let me just type it if I can. There we go. Yep, there we go. Oops. Okay, one pretty much was Isam. For some reason, this is not the one I like. Here we are. I'm just kidding, I'm kidding. I'm so angry, guys. I'm so angry. Well, I don't know. Yeah, so, I mean, you could play with it, just change whatever font you like. And then you would just click this if you're done, or that if you don't want it. So. And then I got to put my cute little emblem. Where is it? Don't look at the photos. Don't look at that. Ah! I'm just kidding. Where was it again? Okay, here it is. I have a lot of weird stuff. Don't judge me. And then you just make it smaller. Right. You can always do that. And then you can play with the layer style too. Like, for instance, this is black, right? So I would do color overlay, and now you can see it. And I always put it as a white one. And there you go. I'm done. That's pretty much how I edit my photos. And then you just save it for web and devices. And then, oh, yeah. I think I forgot something. See? This is always a good thing. That's why you always have it on separate layers. That way it doesn't actually... I should like it like that too. But not this way. Yeah. Right. Sharpen. Just adds more detail. There you go. Now we're done. Oh, and then when you sharpen, make sure that the hardness is pretty low, and then the strength is at least 50. Because if you overdo it, it gets all nasty like that. You don't want to do that. It's pretty bad. I don't know. No, still too much. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. And then you're done. No, wait, I'm not done. I don't like that one. I'm sorry, I'm very indecisive when I edit. I'm actually a very indecisive person in general, so I'm sorry. And then you save it. Save it here. Replace it, I think. And then you go. And then you go on the internet and you load it and stuff. But I'm probably not gonna look right now because I still have to edit the video. So bye.